Hello friends. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to explain episode 2 of the new Thai BL series, Peach Lover. Please support me by subscribing to my channel. Thank you. It begins with someone asking whether we have ever tasted a peach. But the taste of a peach does not refer only to the fruit itself. Because a peach is a symbol of happiness, sweetness, and satisfaction. Related to both the physical body and emotional connection. They say that when a peach is fully ripe, its sweetness and juice are stored deep inside. So whoever has tasted it will never forget the flavor for the rest of their life. For Po, throughout his life, he had never once thought he would experience something like that. From being an ordinary child who liked to draw, and lived only in his own world. Until today, when Po met a peach lover, who was none other than Sassum. To Po, Sassum was someone unreachable. But now Po found it difficult to express his feelings. Happiness, surprise, and fear all gathered into one. But one thing mattered the most. Po was truly very happy. Po did not know what would happen tomorrow. Maybe Sassum would hurt him. Or perhaps make him even happier than before. But Po had already made his choice. And that choice was to keep walking together with Sassum. No matter what happens next. It would be better for them to face it together. What will Po find in the future? The next morning, Sassum woke up. And looked at Po, who was still sleeping peacefully. Sassum thought that what he did last night slightly crossed the line. He smiled at the sight before him. Sassum kissed Po's cheek and murmured that Po was very soft and fragrant. Perhaps because Po was still so new and fresh. And had never been touched by anyone. Sassum said that Po already belonged to him. He kissed Po again. Just imagining it made Sassum smile shyly. Realizing that he had a fitting to attend that day. Sassum immediately called in to pick him up. In replied that he was already in front of Po's house. Hearing that, Sassum felt that and understood him very well. Before leaving, Sassum kept smiling as he looked at Po. He also left a special note for Po. At first, Sassum was confused about where to put the small note. Until he realized and stuck it on Po's computer. Seeing how radiant Sassum looked. In teased him. Sassum explained that he was extremely happy. In asked if it was because of Po. Sassum answered that yesterday he had asked Po whether Po would tell his secret to others. Po replied by asking what he would gain from destroying Sassum's life. Sassum smiled. He really liked Po's answer. After Sassum left, Po woke up. That day felt brighter than he had imagined. Po thought his body would feel sore, tired, or drained. But in reality, it was nothing like that. There was no pain or stiffness at all. All Po felt was Sassum inside his thoughts. Seeing that Sassum had gone, Po smiled as he remembered last night. When Po sat in front of his computer, he noticed the small note Sassum had left. Of course, Po was happy and could not stop smiling. Po saved Sassum's contact and planned to send him a message. But he became confused about what to write. He deleted the message many times. In the end, he wrote that he had saved Sassum's contact. After sending the message, Po continued to smile brightly. In the afternoon, Po went to a shop. The cashier offered clothes with Sassum's image on them. After choosing everything, the cashier packed the clothes. That night, while Po was busy at his computer, a client called him, asking about the progress of the previous work. Po replied that the work was almost finished. Po paused for a moment. Then Sassum called. Po smiled and immediately answered. Sassum said he would arrive at Po's house soon. And asked if Po could come out to help open the door. Because he was afraid someone else might see him. Po replied that he would wait for Sassum. Po stood by the door as Sassum arrived. Po invited him to sit together. Seeing the food still untouched, Sassum asked whether Po had not eaten yet. Po said he had not, because he was waiting for Sassum. They had dinner together. Po then asked if Sassum had been very busy that day. Because Po had waited a long time for a reply. Sassum asked if Po was angry with him. Po explained that he was not angry, just. Before he could finish, Sassum said that Po must have been annoyed from waiting. Sassum explained that he had fittings for a drama and interviews afterward. From noon until 5 p.m. And additional filming after that. The schedule was truly crazy. Knowing that, Po told Sassum to eat a lot. Sassum then asked whether Po's parents were not at home. Po said no. He explained that he used to live with his mother. But she had passed away a long time ago. As for his father, he lived in another house with his new wife. That situation had lasted since the day his father drove Po and his mother out. Sassum apologized after hearing that. Po said it was okay, he was fine now. That was his mother's choice, her life, not Po's. Sassum praised Po, saying he was amazing. From Po's registration form, Sassum knew that Po could draw. Sassum really wanted a painter as a friend. Po asked if that meant Sassum wanted to be his friend. Sassum said it was not easy to become his friend. Po asked why. Sassum explained that his parents forbade him from dating people who were not famous. Even fellow actors, if they were not famous. His parents would forbid Sassum from communicating with them. Po said that he was famous. If Sassum did not believe him, he could ask people in the publishing world. Because no one there did not know who Po was. Po said it seriously, he wanted Sassum to trust him. Sassum trusted Po, but his parents did not know who Po was. That made Po feel a little sad. Po then asked whether Sassum would be his model. That way, Po might become a famous painter. And Sassum's parents would come to know him. Po stood up and invited Sassum into his studio. Sassum sat on the sofa and asked Po to help him take off his clothes. Po sat beside Sassum and began removing the clothes he wore, leaving only one piece of cloth to cover him. Po began touching him, and they almost lost control. But Po asked permission to paint Sassum first. In return, Po kissed Sassum's lips. Po started painting Sassum, though he lost focus a little. In the end, Po finished the painting and showed it to Sassum. Sassum said he actually liked the result, but felt slightly awkward, because the real thing was much bigger than in the painting. So Po was not allowed to go anywhere. He had to learn from his mistake. Sassum pulled Po closer, kissed him, removed the remaining cloth, and showed himself to Po. Po began to help Sassum. The narrator then returned to discussing an agricultural scientist, who brought an interesting study about a popular fruit, the peach. Besides being sweet and full of juice, the size of a peach also has a hidden meaning. A large, juicy peach that can be held in one hand is usually considered the most ripe, and the most suitable to be tasted, compared to smaller peaches that are not yet fully ripe. Research states that the taste of a fully ripe peach is something people will find hard to forget, no matter how much time passes. Back to the story. Po sat quietly in front of the artist's gallery, looking very radiant. His friend Min arrived and asked why Po was smiling to himself. Po said he was just thinking randomly. Min asked why Po suddenly looked for him. Po explained that he wanted to rent Min's shop for an exhibition, and wanted to rent 2 floors. Min was happy because he had been waiting for this for a long time. Po said he needed to think about inspiration first. Min asked what kind of inspiration he meant. With a wide smile, Po said there were many reasons. Po remembered that night, when he asked Sassum why he liked eating peaches so much, whether it was just a metaphor for a partner. Sassum replied that both were true. Sassum then asked Po if he had ever eaten a peach. Po said he had not. Sassum suggested that Po try it once. It had to be sweet and full of juice. Sassum said he loved both the taste and the texture. He added that when he ate peaches and when he was with Po, the feeling was exactly the same. Sweet, soft, and addictive. Hearing that, Po decided to use Peach Lover as the exhibition name. Sassum agreed. Just hearing the name made Sassum want to go to Po immediately. Min snapped Po out of his daydream. and asked what was really going on with him. Because Po was not like his usual self. Po said he was fine. But for Min, Po could lie to anyone except him. They had known each other for too long. Min believed Po must be dating someone. Po responded by hitting Min. That only confirmed it. Min asked Po to show a picture of his lover. Po said Min was talking nonsense and refused to tell him. Min warned Po that if he got into trouble later, he should not come looking for him. Po then asked Min, if one day an explicit video of him spread, would Min still want to be his friend? Min was shocked and asked with whom Po did it. When Po tried to make excuses, Min did not want to hear them. He just wanted to know with whom Po did it. Min begged Po, whatever he wanted to do, please do not bring up his father. Po said that even if his father were gone, he would not go to his funeral. Later, Po was seen washing dishes. When Sassum called, Sassum said he missed Po very much. And Po felt the same. Po asked if Sassum wanted to stay over that night. Sassum said he would come home late, and told Po to sleep first. Before hanging up, Po encouraged Sassum. Sassum sent a sticker that made Po blush. Po then took photos of himself holding a peach. At Min's shop, a customer arrived. It was In ordered an espresso. After Min finished making it, In praised how fragrant the coffee was. Min asked whether In was praising the coffee, or the person who made it. They smiled at each other. That night, when Sassum's car arrived, Po went out to greet him. Po said he thought Sassum would not come. Sassum explained that the director's wife was about to give birth, so he got to leave early. Sassum asked where Po wanted to go. Po said farther than the convenience store. He wanted to go to the cinema area to find food. Sassum kissed Po, their kiss lasting quite a while. Sassum asked what kind of good food was there. Po said there were many, like street food. But Po said Sassum probably could not go with him. Sassum asked why. Actors were humans too. But Po explained that if people saw them together, they would not even be able to eat peacefully. And if photos spread, how would Sassum explain it to his family? Po held Sassum's hand and told him to follow. While waiting, Sassum rested on the sofa. Po came back with a jacket, saw Sassum asleep, and sat beside him. Po looked at him for a long time, and kissed his cheek. On the second kiss, they kissed on the lips. Po asked if Sassum was sleepy. Sassum said no, he was just resting his eyes. Po said if Sassum was sleepy, he could go alone. But Sassum did not want that. He wanted to go together. Po gave Sassum a jacket and a mask. Without warning, Sassum took off his clothes. Po closed his eyes and asked what he was doing. Sassum said he was changing clothes so they could leave quickly. Throughout it, Po could not look away. He helped Sassum zip up his jacket and put on the hood. Afterward, Po confessed that he had fallen deeply for Sassum. Before leaving, they kissed again. Po suddenly realized himself and tried to leave, but instead he touched Sassum. And Sassum pulled him into a hug from behind. They were lost in the heated moment. Then a flashback appeared. Sassum begging Tanam, saying he would find a way to solve the problem. But Tanam said Sassum had destroyed his life and made him feel better off dead. The narrator then discussed love and sexual orientation, often seen as different and misunderstood. Attraction to the same gender is not a choice, but a chemical reaction and an instinct of the heart. Like a certain perfume scent that makes the heart race unconsciously. Love between two men is no different from any other love. It has doubts, fears, sweetness, and confusion. Sometimes, what makes someone feel comfortable comes not from desire, but from childhood experiences, wanting warmth, visibility, or self-worth. That is not a mistake. It is the mechanism of the human heart, hoping to be loved in a way that allows them to be themselves comfortably. When two people are attracted to each other, the body produces substances like dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. These cause a racing heart, trembling hands, or an unconscious smile. It is natural, and in the end, no matter what form love takes, It holds the same value. As long as it creates a safe space for one another and allows them to be seen as they truly are. That was the explanation of Peach Lover episode 2. See you again in the next episode.